Today, we're taking some big steps forward by expanding our teams and welcoming new faces to the studio. With security finally on board, we're tackling those pesky burglary issues that have been holding us back. And most exciting of all, we're kicking off development on a brand new game that we hope will take the gaming world by storm. Let's dive in and see how we're shaping the future of Bamboo Labs. Hello and welcome back to Bamboo Labs and of course Software Inc. Now, before we get too far into this episode, I want to address a comment that was left on the last video regarding our fumbling around with the project management system and the printing system. So Holderkin has thankfully done some testing in that regard, and he's come up with basically the following solution. We jump into manufacturing and we go ahead and set this to a maximum of whatever we want. This by itself will automatically refill the stock to that level every single day. This number won't drop. So that's fantastic. That is basically what I thought we were trying to do. That's apparently not how that works though. So if we jump into the project management, this number here, both of these numbers here, are only for basically when the beta comes out. This has nothing to do with handling distribution. Instead, what handling distribution actually does is they will automatically determine how much stock we need based on the current demand of our products. So if we jump into Bamboo Odyssey 3 here and look at the details, did I just archive that? I hope not. Oh no, that's fine. Show products that are no longer on the market. That's fine. If we jump in here and look at this, you can see the demand is quite high. We have 48,000 in stock at the moment. We're selling around 50,000 units a day, and our project manager has set the goal to be 47,000. So they're expecting this to drop a little bit, and we should be able to keep up with stock, absolutely no problem at all. So it is actually working as intended, and if they determine that you don't need any more stock, then they will basically just say stop printing. The print job will still be there. As you can see here, Bamboo Odyssey 2 has 13,000 in stock. We aren't selling that much, so they're not going to print anymore. So that is all working as intended. If that didn't make sense, go ahead and jump back to the previous video. I'll go ahead and pin that comment by Holderkin. He did a much better job of explaining it than I just did. So if you're curious about that, then yeah. But as you might have seen in the last episode, we definitely have a problem with theft. So we are going to try and fix that today. Now, unfortunately, we do have 3 different entrances. We can definitely bring that down to 2 if we wanted to, and I think I probably will. But I feel like this entrance is definitely necessary, considering that all of our parking is, over here. Our employees really shouldn't have to walk all the way around to the front of the building to get back into here. I'd rather than be able to come straight through here. And that also has the added benefit of having the bathroom right here. If they do need to shower when they get to work, they can come straight through that door. But I would like to move this door. And I'm thinking instead of having this door as a separate entrance, we just go ahead and move the door to this wall here, rotate the reception around a little bit and make it work that way. So we'll jump into a quick little time lapse as I get that changed out, and we'll be back in a little bit. Honestly, as simple as that should solve the problem. I just want to put one more piece of art up on this wall over here, and that is called a painting. And the one we don't have is the kitten, so that can go right about, actually, let's go there and move this one across so it looks a little bit nicer. And then I'm going to grab all 3 of these, move, and just finally position those around the center of that wall to make that look nice and neat. And that means anyone coming into reception will go in here and through this way. Still, we're not going to have our normal employees walking through our reception, so that's going to be fantastic. And that should all work out as intended. But we still need to hire some security, and we're going to need, basically at the moment, we're going to need at least 6, I believe it is. So if we go to manage staff and we hire 3 security guards, just to start with, we're going to have the first one start at 8 a.m. the next one can start at 4 p.m. and the next one can start at 12 a.m. and they finish at 8. So yeah, we're definitely going to need 6, one on this entrance, one on this entrance. And then I would like another security guard around the clock on a set of cameras. So we'll go ahead, hire 3 more and 3 more again. These first 2 can be 8 a.m. These ones can start at 4 p.m. just like so. And these guys can start at 12 a.m. So we should have 3 security guards around the clock. That is fantastic. The next thing we need to do is figure out where we want our security to go. And I'm thinking they can live in the basement. That doesn't yet exist, but it will exist. So if we jump into build mode, and I want to build basically this room here underground. So we'll grab our rectangle room, go down. It's really hard to line this up. If we hit Z, go to the top down view, it's going to be a little bit easier. I believe it might be a 5x5. Of course, it's a 6x6. Of course, it's a 6x6. I believe that lines up. Yeah, they're the same. Perfect. And now we just need to figure out how we want to do stairs and entrances and things like that. So I'm going to jump into a little bit of a time lapse as we get this set up, and we'll be back in a little bit. And I think that will probably do it for now. The only other thing we can throw in here is potentially some plants and change how this staircase actually looks. I kind of like the industrial look, but it doesn't have rails. If we look at railing, we can do glass railing, will probably look quite nice. We jump down. This should also have railing. I guess not. So it only shows up the top. That's fine. We can just have it up the top and not worry about it down here. We'll just tell people to be careful on the stairs. This room should also probably have the same interior as the others. And we'll jump up here, do some decoration, and be back in a little bit. Okay, turns out we can't do as much decoration as I thought because apparently this wall is completely blocked for paintings. We've just thrown a nice little logo in there and a plant there. The reason I'm not putting anything in this corner just yet is because we will also have stairs going up, so we don't want to block that just yet. I also kind of just want to move these lights to actually be in the middle of the doorway, which is going to require an alt place. Right around there, we'll come down and we'll do the exact same thing down here because they are also going to have doors in the sides, just like, okay, I need a room first. That's fine. This is the start of our basement. Our basement is going to be pretty small, I think. We're mainly just going to have our security guards down here. So we'll jump into a time lapse as we design out our little security guard room. That is interesting to note. Apparently you can't put logos in your basement. I don't know why, but apparently you cannot. So that is probably about all of the decoration we're going to get down here for the moment. We'll just throw a nice little rug for them to sit on. I hate the position of that. Let's go with that. That's nice. And this way we can have 4 of these if we need them. I think 1 is going to do the trick for right now. We'll jump back up here and make sure that we grab ourselves some security cameras for our doorways. So in order to place these, I believe we can rotate them somehow. I think. Maybe we can't. Maybe we can't. Is there a nice way to get this on the thing? Can I right click this and do anything with it? No, I cannot. So that's really not doing a lot there. Maybe we just straight up go right by the door and we do the exact same thing with this door over here, right by the door. Hopefully that should see anyone coming in or out. Now, I believe we also need to connect these up. Maybe we don't. This should just connect up automatically, I assume. We jump back down here and say, yeah, there's no options to connect this, so I assume that just works. And that is our security situation, hopefully somewhat solved. Now, we do have a couple of awards that we could potentially place down now. Basically, I only like to display my gold awards. It's just a thing that I like to do. So I'm going to go ahead and sell my Best Designer in 1992 Silver Award for $50,000 by right-clicking on that button. And then also my Most Profitable Product in 1991 Bronze Award is also going to be sold. But we will throw down Best Product 1990 and 1992. And for now, I'm just going to place these in reception because I like to show my clients that we are a decent business. So they can go right in there, nice and simple. And that is that. We can jump back into the normal mode now and take a stock take of where we are. Bamboo Odyssey 4 is currently in its first design iteration, so quite a long way to go there. Bamboo Odyssey Updates is going quite well. Everything is fine there. I also realized after I'd recorded the last video that I said we didn't have any more capacity for support deals. I was very, very wrong in saying that. If we turn on our labels, this is our support team. We have room for a bunch of people in here. We have 15 seats plus a leader, and our team is only 5 big. So we absolutely can take more support deals if we want to. We'll open up our support, our deals tab here. Go ahead and open up all companies so that we can make sure that we are buying stocks when companies start being listed. Dirtscape, we currently own 37%. They still haven't brought out a product. I'm going to bring out their details just so that we can keep an eye on them. Hopefully they do something sooner rather than later. But for now, they're really not doing a lot. I also don't know why this is so large all of a sudden. That's better. And we'll bring up our details for Bamboo Odyssey 3, make sure that we have that readily available. So what do we want to do today is the main question. I wouldn't mind starting work on a brand new game because I want to start expanding this business quite quickly, get a whole bunch of money flowing so that we can start getting into some more interesting, different things that we haven't done before, such as potentially research, getting legal teams and things like that up and running. Obviously, we want to get project management running sooner rather than later, but that's going to require a marketing team because if you're using project management, you can't use an external marketing team. But yeah, for right now, I think we're going to go ahead and set up a brand new team. And speaking of teams, I just wanted to address something real quick. This is the way that I like to set up my teams, where each team is working on one product, but you do have the option of setting up, say, a design team, a development team, and an art team, and giving them multiple things to work on at once. That is absolutely a valid way to play. It's just not the way that I like to do it. I like to keep everyone localized to their own products. I just feel like it's easier to micromanage that way. The other way may be slightly more efficient, but I'm not too worried about that. So let's go ahead and figure out what kind of game we want to release. So what kind of game is this? I have completely forgotten. This is an RPG. All right. Easy enough. I think we want to stick with being a game design firm at the moment. We might move into, say, operating systems later on down the track, but for right now, I think we want to be just a game. And I would like to get a game in each category out. So that's going to mean we're going to have 6 teams in total. Next product is going to be an adventure title, and I'm going to go ask ChatGPT what a good name for that is. So we'll be back in a sec. All right. ChatGPT has suggested the Whispering Grove, which I kind of like. So that is going to be our new adventure title. SCM is going to be SCM. We are going to use... Actually, are these the same? I believe they are, no matter what we choose here. Yeah, they're the same. So we can go ahead and use our existing framework. No, we can't. Okay, never mind. We're going to make a new framework. This is the Whispering Grove frame. And that will be that. I assumed because these were all the same that we could use the same framework, but apparently that is not the case. Obviously, we need to choose a 2D and audio tool. We just choose the best ones. If we look at release date, record take, great, perfect, that'll do. We're going to skip over operating systems for the moment, go ahead, analyze the market, see what they're looking for. Everyone's still looking for graphics. So anything that adds graphics is immediately going in, which really isn't that much. Same problem with the other one. It looks like that might just about be it for graphics, because 3D graphics still isn't a thing that we can do. And yeah, it looks like that is about it. If we auto balance that, that already gets us to 97%, and it's only going to take us about a year. We really don't need that big of a team to get it done. So I think that is what we're going to go with. We'll go ahead and add our operating systems now. Anyone with over 100,000 is who we want. That is going to jump it up to approximately 2 years. Decent team size, but not too bad. And we need to go ahead and get this running. So Gavin Joseph is not going to be our lead designer. They aren't going to be assigned to it at all, actually. And our publisher is going to be Brainwoody, I assume, just because we have the best relationship with them. They are going to offer us 19.4% down to 7.8 after they recoup 3.3 times their money. 2 years and 7 months to get that done. That is more than reasonable. We're going to say yes, please. This is going to tell us we're missing a system designer. That is absolutely fine. We're going to go ahead and hire the team after we hit this button. It is 3:11 p.m. on March 1993. I did not realize it was the end of the day, so that is a little bit unfortunate. This won't get as much time to be developed, but we're going to hire a team big enough to handle this anyway, so we're not too concerned. I'm going to go ahead and hit and develop. No one is competent as a system designer in the selected teams. I don't care because we're about to hire them. So we'll jump in and hire employees. The first thing we need is a lead designer. So I'm going to choose designer and lead. Actually, let's go for lead and then designer. Salary high, filter by compatibility with the Game Dev 1 team, just to get them nice and healthy there. And the main thing we're going to want is probably automation. We'll also want HR, definitely, and then probably socialization and then multitasking. There is this button down here. I have a feeling we're not going to find anyone decent. Yeah. No available lead designers right now. That's fine. Go ahead and look for our project lead. This guy probably won't be the lead designer, but they will be our project lead in charge of automation and HR. Both of these guys are fairly similar. This one has some 2D and 3D skill. This one has some audio skill. We don't actually have much audio in there. There's no system skill on either of these guys, which is a little bit annoying. But it is what it is. I think we're going to go with Marilyn just because she's a year younger. And you are officially hired as not the GD1 team. This is the GD2 team. We should probably actually name this after the games. Whispering team. I don't know why I put team in there. That is Whispering. Done. And you are hired. We'll go ahead and set her up real quick. Manage roles in here. You are our leader. Sorry. You can do everything else, but I'm going to say focus on leading first. That should be good. We'll go to HR management and we'll say handle wages, complaints. Role selection don't change because we're going to manually hire these guys. Educate one person up to the full amount. And that should be fine. Good to go. I really don't like that there's no OK button on this, but it is what it is. We'll go ahead and set them to 12 months vacation time. They can start in January. It doesn't really matter. Departure is going to be 5 p.m. I believe that makes that all correct. Yes, it is. While we're here, actually, the accounting team should not have vacation January, February, and March because they need to focus on getting our taxes done. So we'll take their vacation away there. Just while we're in that team, in that screen, I should say, and we'll go ahead and hire the rest of this team out. So we'll open up our project details. We need 9 programmers and 5 designers. So hire employees. We're going to go for programmers predominantly. Secondary role, designer. Salary is going to be high. We're going to filter with the whispering team. We want system, 2D, and audio in that order. System is the biggest chunk of this. 2D is next, and audio is the smallest portion. And that is just about it. We'll go ahead and begin looking, and we really don't have very many candidates here. We might have to go ahead and hire some less than ideal candidates in this situation. But these guys both look decent. One of them can't do audio. We're not particularly concerned about that. They are both officially hired. Go ahead and begin looking again. We'll search for the same programmer, but we'll throw the secondary role into artist because we do need 2 artists for this as well, and we'll begin looking there. And both of these guys, again, are fantastic. They both have 3 stars in system and 2D. They can also do some art, which is fantastic. They are both hired. I am going to now assign this to the whispering team just so that we can see how many people we have potentially. But for now, that is, what do we got? 4 programmers so far, so we need a few more of those. We already have our 2 artists pretty much, but I wouldn't mind if more people had the artist skill. Jump back into hire employees, and we'll go for programmer designer again, but we'll go for a medium salary. They're not going to be as good, but we'll get more available to us. And these guys should, in theory, be younger as well, which means they'll have more time to train themselves up. So, how many did we just hire? I think we had 4, and we need 9. So potentially we're going to hire absolutely every single one of these guys, and hire. That should be good. And then we'll jump in, hire employees, go for designers with secondary in programming, high salary, and we want the exact same system, 2D, and audio. Begin looking, and that should be pretty much good. They're both hired. We jump into manage teams and manage roles. Let's see what we've got. If we turn on relative, we can see what everyone is super good at. I'm going to turn everything off for the moment so that we can figure out who we want where. So everyone with the max skill in programming is definitely going to be doing some programming. Everyone with the max skill in designing is definitely going to be doing some designing. A lot of these people can probably do art. These 2 definitely can do art. I'm also going to allow this guy to do art, and these guys can do art secondarily. That'll be fine. You can do programming, you can do programming, you can't do much of anything. You can do a little bit of designing, actually. That's not too bad. Turn off relative now, just so that we can actually see the real values here. And honestly, everyone here can also do design. That is fine with me. You can do art. That should be good, and no one can do service. That should be a decently sized team. The only thing we need to do now is go ahead and assign a lead. Now, this is the first time we've had to choose a lead designer that isn't ourselves, so this is pretty important. You want their creativity as high as humanly possible. Ideally, over like 95%, but in the real world, over 75% is where you want it. That will make them create inspiring games, and that is going to end up leading to more sales overall. So Basil is our best bet for now. He's between 66 and 100. The more things you get them to do, the lower this range will be, and eventually you'll narrow it down and see where their creativity actually lies. But for now, Basil is going to be our lead designer on that. We're also going to assign this to the S1 team, just so that they can help out if they've got nothing to do, and that should be good to go. That is a team size of 12, one bigger than the GD1 team, but I'm absolutely okay with that. This team size is probably a little bit overkill, just because we are, doubling up on some of our skills, but I think this will be a good team and should hopefully create a nice product. With that all being said and done, that was quite a lot. We are going to jump into a time lapse. I probably won't pause for little things here and there, so if you are photosensitive, this will probably be a quite fast time lapse. So I will leave a thing here saying when to skip to when the time lapse is over. So we'll be back in a little bit. Sorry, one more thing before I skip too far ahead. We actually need to turn on our teams in here. So that is our whispering team. This is our whispering team, and they are limited to our leader. That should be fine. Our lead designer on that team does not require a private office because they're technically not a lead designer yet. Eventually, they may request something like that, and that'll be fine. We'll address that when it comes up. But that should be good and ready to go. So now we'll be back in a little bit. All right, I'm going to pause for a second here, just because we did take another support task, and you can see these guys have 107,000 active users. These guys have 5.2 million, 28,000, 330,000, 872,000. And we're at 3:30 p.m. and we still have 879 jobs queued for Bamboo Play. That is us. I forgot that was us, so we should probably move that to the bottom because it's the least important, I think, and actually get Virus Plus 4 sorted first. But, like I said before, we have so much room in that team that we are going to go ahead and hire some more people. We're going to hire medium salary requirements. That is our support team, and we'll go ahead and begin looking. And I think we can probably just double the size of this team, if I'm being completely honest. These guys all have great compatibility, which is fantastic. And yeah, we're just going to hire the first 5 people on this list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Jump into manage teams. S1 manage roles. And anyone who is here needs to not do the other things. So anyone who is black across the board is completely new to this team. So we'll just set them up to do basically anything they can sort of do. They can try and do if they've got nothing else to do, but otherwise they are just working on service. And I don't mind overhiring for this team because they are also working on game development for us. So having more than we need in that team is really not a burden at all. And hopefully, come tomorrow, we should catch up on some of these missed support tickets. But we're going to jump back into the time lapse. Yeah, because we can't keep up with support. We'll jump back into the time lapse and we'll be back in a little bit. All right, we have our first test of our security system. We have burglars. If I press H, we can hide the UI. We have a security guard right here. So, I mean, there you go. There you go. Get out of here, you burglars. Get out of here. Perfect. Burglars went home empty-handed. That is exactly what we want to see. They're not stealing $700,000 worth of printers and servers anymore. That is fantastic. That is what I like to see. You got to be happy with that. All right, we'll jump back into the time lapse now. All right, we just got a important message. Glory Integrated are officially on our digital distribution platform. I did also just go ahead and update this, although it does need another update to keep this up to date. You can see we've got one bug, but mostly we want to keep that tech level up as high as we can. Don't forget to do that. You could throw it on a project management. I think actually, can you? Existing products? No, you cannot. So don't forget to update your digital distribution from time to time. That will also keep your support staff happy because there will be less bugs to report, giving them more time to work on other things. But we're going to just throw that at the top of the queue, get them working on that as soon as possible, and we'll jump back into the time lapse. And of course, it's happened again. We have 3 fire alarm violations. We will find $12,000. I know exactly where they are. Let's jump into build mode and fix that real quick. We'll bring up our walls. We do have another silver most profitable product. We're going to go ahead and sell that. And we need to put fire alarms in our stairwell. So throw one in there, go downstairs, throw one in there, and also throw one in here. And of course, we're going to need sprinklers in these rooms as well. So we'll hit Z, V, put that there, there, and there. And that should solve that problem. I assume that's where it was. Fire inspection. Yep, they're now happy. Everything else is green. Perfect. It's not software Inc. if you don't have failed fire inspections. It's not even software Inc. a little bit unless you fail your fire inspections. So that said, we'll jump back into the time lapse. All right. 5 more companies have requested access to our digital distribution platform. That is fantastic to see. You can see that we currently have 2 bugs on Bamboo Play. So we're just going to go ahead and update that real quick using basically everyone. It's going to take them like 2 seconds to get those 2 bugs fixed. The reason that I wanted to pause here is because now that we have security guards, we can't really skip through the night that much. There are still periods of time where we can skip a little bit. So we're going to jump into the options, and if I can find it, it is in here somewhere. I think it's in general. Yeah. Auto skip day is an option in the menu. If you have not went through the menus and figured out what is in here, this basically means if there's no one at your company, it will automatically skip. I like to turn this off at the start of the game, just because there are a couple of things that I like to do after everyone has gone home. But at this point of the game, it doesn't really matter as much. So we are going to turn that back on. I just thought I would mention that briefly. We did also take a bunch more support tasks. If we jump into our finances here and we look at deals, we are making about $250,000, $300,000, $145,000 a day, which basically is covering, honestly, almost our salaries. Almost covering our salaries. Anything else is just like gravy on top. We're also still making like $95,000, $100,000 a month in dividends, which is just from heavily investing in the stock market. And you can see our net worth is actually almost at 100 million already, which is fantastic. Fantastic. Sales are doing pretty well. Bamboo Odyssey 4 is about to go into the beta phase. I'll need to make sure that I set up a print job this time, and I'll show you guys when I do that. But yeah, everything is going well. Whispering Grove is at design iteration 4. It's moving along quite nicely. This company here, Dirtscape, we currently own 62% of their business. They still haven't put out a product, but their stocks are going up. I think it's because we own them. And our stocks are going up. So at some point, I probably will sell these shares unless they decide to actually make something. Because I don't think they have a product. Oh, actually they did. They released a product. What did they release? If we look at products, they released Print Premium, which is a 2D editor. It's good, ordinary. It has 1,300 active users. Yeah, I think it might be just about time to bail on this because I feel like they're going to go out of business real quick. So we've made 290% of our money. They're going to give us 500,000 for 62% of the company. We are absolutely just going to sell that. I don't want to deal with having that product in my product lineup as soon as they get, go bankrupt. So we're just going to say, bye, Dirtscape. We helped you release your first product. Good luck from here. But we'll continue with the time lapse as we get Bamboo Odyssey 4 into beta. All right, Bamboo Odyssey 4 is officially in beta. Now we can go ahead and start printing. I'm going to say maximum of, 250,000 units just to get a good amount in the bank. That should be absolutely no problem whatsoever. I mean, when we came out with this, we sold 85,000 in the first. Maybe we should actually go up to 500,000 just to be safe. Get those printed and out the door ready to go. The other thing that I did want to show you while we were paused is we now have some people on our distribution. That is fantastic. But it's time we raise our cut. We are currently the lowest cut by quite a long way. I want to raise this up until it basically says cancellations are likely. Generally, that's going to be about 1% per day. But if you do it 1% per day, they don't care. So we're going to raise it up 1% today. We'll come back tomorrow, assuming that I remember, and we'll raise it another 1% until we're sort of matching this and still getting new deals coming in. If we have a look at this, if we look at distribution, we are currently making about $32,000 a month from digital distribution. That should only go up, and it really isn't that much work, so it's a nice little bit of extra income. But we're going to jump straight back into the time lapse as we continue developing the Whispering Grove, Bamboo Odyssey 4, and providing support for all of these products. I do find it amusing that we are providing support for Print Premium as well. They currently have 3,000 active users, so you never know. Dirtscape might just make it. I doubt it, but they might make it. We have burglars again, but no one's on the door. Are they going to get anything? Where's our security? Employees call the police. That's good. That's a good start. Press H to hide this. I hear the police. They're coming. Come on, don't get anything good. Come on. What is my security doing? Please. There's the police. They haven't got anything yet. Run, police, run. They're going to the server room. It's a good thing that that's a long trip. That is actually something to keep in mind when you're designing your office. The longer your trip that you make it to the server room, the better. I'm kind of glad there's no door or hallway here now. Everyone's down on their hands and knees, hands above their heads. I don't know if that's necessary, but we caught them. We caught them and they're leaving. Perfect. Burglars were apprehended by the police before they could steal anything. Absolutely fantastic. I was just looking at digital distribution. We're going to raise that to 9%. You can see we've got quite a few more people on this now. If we jump in here and look at our distribution, digital store is now up to $65,000 a month, which is fantastic. We are still paying a little bit in physical store cut and digital store cut, but that is absolutely a-okay. We're going to continue on. Actually, I just saw something that I didn't want to see. If we look at distribution, copy order $24. I think I know what that is. I think that is because Bamboo Odyssey 1, our project management here, has gone ahead and ordered one copy of this, or like 2 or 3, maybe 10 copies of this. If we look at our details here, you can see we are still selling and we have 12 in stock, but we don't actually have a print job set up for that. So if we say start printing and we enter a limit for how many copies we'd like, I don't know, like 50, really not very many. We sort by product. We have 12 in stock. This should get taken over by our project management now because that is in here under existing products, and they should now stop ordering physical copies and instead print job queues to save us a little bit of money on that. I mean, we're selling basically peanuts on that, but if it does for some reason take off in the future, we don't want to be ordering physical copies. We want to be printing them ourselves. So that's all said and done. We have some employees unhappy with their job. I believe that is just because the burglar was pretty scary. They'll get over it. At some point, we should go ahead and look at employee benefits, but that is for a different episode. For right now, I think we're going to leave it right about there. Bamboo Odyssey should be coming out in the next episode, as well as the Whispering Grove. We'll go ahead and start accelerating our progress a little bit, get some more time lapses in, get some more teams going on, developing more games, and you know how it goes. We are making a fantastic amount of money. We are $500,000 away from hitting that 100 million milestone. And yeah, if you guys are enjoying the series, make sure to leave a comment down below for the sake of engagement. Leave a like if you did like the video. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Check out our merch store, link in the description. But until next time, happy building, happy developing. Bye, guys.